This seal appears mottled and weathered, utterly unremarkable to the eye. Yet, shouldst thou but press it upon the fair maiden's belly, in an instant, she is transformed into a succubus of peerless beauty. And this rusted pendant of the inverted cross, it possesses the power to grant its wearer the eternal life of a vampire. Forbidden artifacts such as these, capable of defying fate itself, thou hast a chamber filled with them, for thou art the proprietor of an ancient shop dealing in the forbidden. So long as the seeker can pay the price, all their desires may be fulfilled within these walls. The maiden before thee is thy first guest. Jin Miting was once the most celebrated beauty of Nanhai University. Until a great fire stripped her of the visage she so cherished. To regain her lost beauty, she is willing to pay any price. Thou toyest with the seal in thy hand. Thy voice is as calm as still water. 1 moon ago, thou didst inherit this establishment from the former master, because the predecessor lost 12 forbidden artifacts. A curse was laid. Thou mayst only leave the shop on rainy nights. By assuming the mantle of the shopkeeper, thou hast likewise inherited this malediction. To break the shackles of this curse, thou must reclaim those lost forbidden artifacts scattered across the realm. Before thee may very well serve as thy hands and eyes in the world Jin Miting receives the seal. Without a moment's hesitation, she lifts her robe and stamps in an instant. Herself. The scars upon her face recede like an ebbing tide. Two winding goat horns sprout from her brow. A lithe, sinuous tail emerges from behind. Beholding her reflection of beauty so profound it borders on the demonic, she lets out a cry of mingled terror and ecstasy. Thou speakest in a spectral tone. 魅魔文章使用后会变成这个世界上最美的生物，你用你的自由换取了它，对你来说很赚，因为如果不是我需要一位店员，你的自由对我而言一文不值。Jin Miting gasps violently, struggling to digest the transformation of her mortal to grow more beautiful and to wield transcendent power. Yet there is a price. What truly is the meaning of losing one's freedom? Thou pierces through her secret thoughts. 7天时间解决你手头上的事情，7天后你要回到这里，开始你的工作。现在你可以走了。The gaze Jin Miting casts upon me is now laced with dread. 随手就把人变成恶魔，这是何等恐怖的手段！只要不傻，就该知道违背契约该有多可怕。 With a mere thought, she bids her demonic features vanish. In a panicked haste, she flees the ancient shop. Beyond the threshold, a misty rain begins to fall from the heavens. Silk-like drizzle. The corners of thy mouth curl into a faint arc. One must not squander such a long wait. A rainy night has finally descended. Thou art free to leave the shop. It is time to reclaim the lost forbidden artifacts, treacherous power. Those mortals who possess them either wield formidable supernatural strength, or use them to ascend as the elite of society. In other words, none who have traded for forbidden artifacts are mere commoners. Upon the buyer's death, artifacts deemed lost are most likely inherited by their scions or sworn companions. Such descendants are likewise no ordinary men. Should they lack discernment and refuse to return the forbidden artifact to its rightful home, force must be employed. Thou walkest to the rear chamber. Thy gaze sweeps across the cabinets filled with forbidden curios. Thine eyes lock upon a rusted, ancient scythe. The scythe of the death god. Taking the scythe in hand, thou proceedest to the back portal of the shop and enterest a vintage, European-style carriage of old. Autumn rains are fleeting. Time is of the essence to hasten thy journey. Amount of sufficient convenience is required. Artifact number 5. The carriage of entwined wraiths. Thou talkest the driver's seat, flipping through a yellowed ledger. Within are the transaction records of the former master. 20 years ago, Zheng Xihua paid half her lifespan. In exchange for the Siren's Jack Pearl, thou hast heard of this Zheng Xihua, a diva who rose to meteoric fame to decades past. She perished of illness 2 years ago. Her daughter, by Shasha, seemingly, inherited her mother's divine captivating gift for all under heaven. Yet this was no natural talent, but that forbidden object at work. The Siren's Jack Pearl. It bestows upon the user a voice as enchanting as a sea demon. It seems the pearl now rests in the hands of thy Shasha. Thou closest the ledger and commandest the carriage. The wraith carriage rumbles to life, vanishing from the spot in a flicker. Nanhai, the green horse estate. This is the residence of Bai Shasha. Tonight, the luminaries of the realm gather here to celebrate the successful tour of the diva Shasha. Uproar echoes from within the dressing chamber. 2 black-clad sentries are dragging away a crazed admirer. The man cries out in despair as he is hauled off. Bai Shasha's face is filled with utter disdain. She gently caresses the pearl pendant at her throat. It is her mother's legacy, the secret of her dominion over the musical world. Her mother had exhorted her repeatedly before passing. Never lightly employ this treasure, for one day, its true master would come to claim it. At this thought, Bai Shasha's eyes flicker with greed. Her father is a merchant in name, but in truth, an underground overlord of illicit elixirs. The guards within this estate are all her father's most ruthless enforcers. At that moment, footsteps echo outside the chamber. Shasha dons her professional mask and turns, but seeing the visitors' common attire, Her smile instantly withers. Another common fly has slipped in. Just as she prepares to vent her rage, the man speaks first. Shasha is taken aback. Recognition strikes, and her body turns rigid with shock. Thou, what didst thou say? Is cold and indifferent upon the shark pearl at her throat. That belongeth to me. I have come to reclaim it. Shasha sizes thee up. A glint of contempt flashing in her eyes. This treasure is mine now. In her view, this is but an heirloom of some lowly rustic's ancestors. With a touch of impatience, thou drawest a rusted scythe. Shasha beholds the weapon. Far from fearing it, she shows only derision. She suddenly raises her voice, a piercing scream cutting through the chamber air. The frantic thunder of footsteps erupts instantly. A dozen burly men in black suits instantly block the doorway, radiating murderous intent. With a playful smirk on her lips, Shasha pointed a finger lightly at you. A trace of helplessness flashed in your eyes. In the future, will recovering forbidden objects be this troublesome? The previous shop owner once warned you. Yet for you, this was as simple as breathing. Not because you were bloodthirsty by nature, but because you suffered from a condition called alexithymia. In your eyes, all living beings were equal. Mere blades of grass. Shasha captured the emotion in your eyes, but misread it as despair. You didn't waste words. The scythe in your hand swung down weightlessly. Shasha almost burst out laughing. She thought you were some peerless master. Yet when the strike hit the bodyguard, it didn't even tear his clothes. However, in the next second, her smile froze on her face. The bodyguard collapsed straight down, silenced instantly. No wounds on his body, yet all life was severed. This was 03, the death scythe. It only reaps the soul without harming the flesh. Everyone looked at you in disbelief, as if they were looking at a monster. Under the terrified gazes of the crowd, you unhurriedly pulled an ancient ceramic jar from your coat. Designation: Soul-sealing demon jar. Its effect: store souls and convert them into pure spiritual power. In the antique shop basement sits a terrifying statue that needs a monthly soul sacrifice to remain sealed. And these people before you were the perfect fodder. An eerie scene unfolded. The bodyguard on the floor had clearly stopped breathing, yet his features began to contort wildly, displaying an expression of extreme horror, as if his soul were undergoing torture. The remaining bodyguards, frightened witless by this incomprehensible terror, charged forward en masse. You let out a soft chuckle, the death scythe in your hand traced an elegant semicircle through the air. All the bodyguards froze mid-charge, then collapsed in unison. Dozens of corpses, dozens of twisted faces, screaming in silence. Stepping over them, you walked toward the now paralyzed Shasha. The pop diva was now shaking violently, falling to her knees with a thud, tears and snot streaming down. You let out a derisive laugh. In a panic, Shasha tore the siren's pearl from her neck. You didn't take it, but instead reached out to tilt her chin up, your gaze cold and deep. The scythe lightly touched the center of her brow. Shasha's body went limp, slumping to the ground. The worn pearl slid out and was caught steadily in your palm. You could have just taken the pearl, letting her lose her voice and make a fool of herself at the upcoming banquet. But you had no such petty taste for drama. Since it had to be reclaimed, it was better to pack up her soul as well. You walked out of the dressing room, and the old Wraith vintage car manifested out of thin air. Behind you, in the void, a bizarre sight was unfolding. Shasha's soul drifted dazedly from her body. She saw a massive gate appearing in the sky, radiating holy light. Instinct drove her to drift toward that light. That was the path to the afterlife. However, a terrifying suction suddenly erupted from the ceramic jar. Several pitch-black, elongated ghost hands shot from the jar's mouth, clutching her soul tightly. No, in a silent scream, she watched helplessly as the gates of heaven receded, and she was dragged, inch by inch, into the abyss-like demon jar. 10 minutes later, a burly, overweight man arrogantly pushed open the dressing room door. He was Latam, the uncrowned king of the South Sea underworld, and also Shasha's father. And the moment he opened the door, his smile froze. Corpses everywhere. No wounds, but everyone's eyes were wide open, as if they had been frightened to death. Latam lunged frantically toward his dressed-up daughter. The body was already stone cold. That once beautiful face was now contorted and hideous, frozen in extreme horror. Who did this? Who killed my daughter? By Latom roared in grief, his killing intent boiling. I'll kill your whole family. Suddenly, his gaze sharpened. The priceless pearl pendant around his daughter's neck was gone. It was a relic left by his late wife. Before passing, she had repeatedly urged him. This item was borrowed, and if the owner came to collect it, he must return it with the utmost respect. He must never be negligent. Bai Latom had once scoffed at this. Who was he? The overlord of the Who would dare snatch something from his daughter's hands? But now, it must be you. You took the necklace and killed to silence the witness. Bai Latom clutched his daughter's body tightly, tears of blood spilling from his eyes. Whether you are man or ghost, I will find you. I will tear you to pieces. To pay for my daughter's life. 3 o'clock a.m. The sound of rain continued. You parked the Wraith vintage car back in the backyard. Because of the curse, before the rain stopped, you had to return here. You walked up the stairs to the 2nd floor. It was as luxurious as an emperor's palace. The wardrobe was filled with expensive clothing, left by previous managers. The shop owner's soul was bound to the shop, immortal and indestructible. But the previous owner had willingly given up this status, because if the duties were not fulfilled, so-called immortality was nothing more than endless torment trapped in a cage. You sat in a pear-wood chair, picking up the pen by candlelight. You write, 1 month since taking over the shop, a rainy night, successfully recovered 1 forbidden object, traded 1 forbidden object. After finishing this line, the image of the previous owner surfaces in your mind. That madman in a traditional robe, as withered as a dried corpse, though he was immortal. Losing 12 forbidden objects left him completely trapped and dying in this shop. The Zero Antique Shop has only 2 ironclad rules. Every month, enough souls must be sacrificed to that terrifying statue in the basement. Secondly, one must recover forbidden objects lost abroad, or contain new forbidden objects. The previous owner was too foolish, only focused on extorting souls from buyers to make up the numbers. While this satisfied the statue's appetite, it caused the lost forbidden objects to be scattered across the world. Now you are trapped in the shop by the curse, able to leave only on rainy night. Trying to recover those 12 lost items is like searching for a needle in a haystack. If they aren't recovered in time, the curse deepens, and immortality will turn into eternal torture. Listening to the rain outside, your fingers lightly tap the tabletop. A mad yet perfect plan gradually takes shape. Tonight's trade with Kim meeting gave you inspiration. Use forbidden objects to trade for loyalty and freedom. Since I cannot go out myself, why not raise a pack of hounds that can walk in the sunlight? On a brand new page, you solemnly write 3 words. Forbidden Society, an extraordinary organization belonging only to you. The members you need are not just madmen craving power, but must be the secular powerful, tycoons, and elites. They use forbidden objects to seize interests in the mortal world, while utilizing their power and intelligence networks to search for lost forbidden items for you, paving the way for you to contain new ones. The rules of future trades will change completely. Either sacrifice your soul to become nourishment for the statue, or sacrifice your loyalty to become a claw of the Forbidden Society. You close the notebook. She is a succubus who can freely enter and exit the antique shop. When she returns to report in 7 days, this world-sweeping hunting game will truly begin. South Sea, Golden Sea Dragon Hotel. Amidst the chatter of young women, it's filled with the ambition of entering society. The class monitor was accepted into the security bureau, offering compliments. Meanwhile, Chui Xinyu is even more proud. She has caught the eye of famous director Zhang Baiwei and is about to star as the female lead. Someone whispers softly. Chui Xinyu lets out a cold sneer. In that explosion a month ago, Kim Meeting's face was ruined to protect her. But in Chui Xinyu's eyes, useless people deserve to be stepped on. Just then, the private room door is pushed open. Director Zhang Baiwei walks in with a cold face. As a famous obsessive in the industry, he only believes in the mysterious rain god, even choosing the exact moment the rain falls to start filming. Chui Xinyu clings to him like a cat in heat. Zhang Baiwei, however, seems very impatient. All the women look at Chui Xinyu meaningfully. They originally thought Chui Xinyu was highly favored by Zhang Baiwei. But seeing Zhang Baiwei's current attitude, it's clear he doesn't take her seriously at all. At that moment, the door opens again. Dead silence falls over the room. Kim Meeting walks in. She still has that same face, yet it is breathtakingly beautiful. Every gesture exudes a charm that makes one's soul tremble. That is the supernatural aura brought by the succubus sigil. Even those with the strongest willpower would lose themselves instantly. Zhang Baiwei's eyes go wide. He is currently filming a movie about a fox demon. I searched the entire acting world and couldn't find that kind of ancient fox demons, sorrow, and the Kim Meeting before me is simply a miracle. Zhang Baiwei pushes Chui Xinyu away, his voice urgent. Blood. Kim Meeting only gives a polite smile. Everyone is shocked. In the film industry of Jia, there is actually someone who can reject Zhang Baiwei. Zhang Baiwei won't give up. As Kim Meeting is about to speak, the door is pushed open yet again. You look at Kim Meeting, your voice calm. This autumn rain is quite rare. You shouldn't waste time on boring gatherings. The women in the room look at each other, thinking, who is this man? Daring to tell a future superstar to go work overtime? Seeing this, Chui Shinu immediately jumps out to defend her master. She belittles you while trying to flatter Zhang Baiwei. However, the unexpected happens. The usually arrogant Zhang Baiwei, after seeing that key pendant on your chest, turns pale instantly. He violently shoves Chui Shinu aside and almost runs to stand before you, bowing deeply, his voice trembling.